Whoa, the market is gonna get slaughtered. What's up, dudes and dudettes? This is Dudediligence here. Wake up early, gonna trade, and let me turn the lights on. So last night, my date actually flanked on me, so just actually went to bed early, and then it just sometimes you have those feeling in the middle of the night, and you're like, oh my god, the market's gonna be super bad tomorrow. So I woke up like 3 o'clock, and then I look at the Dow's future. Because in the middle of my night, my Ukrainian friend called me. He's like, dude, it's gonna get worse. I was like, okay. And he said, remember you said that you started shorting 2 weeks ago? I said, but some of the contracts already expired. And this is why I want to talk about timing for the market. We all know that it's going to shit anyways, right? But when you were shorting it with options, sometimes the timing is really important, because if you're shorting it for a long period of time, you're paying for more premium, and that will be a significant chunk of your account. And if volatility really catch up with that, then a lot of your account will be bleeding. So I actually don't know what really is gonna happen today, because there are 4 on my account, and then there are, a couple of other people's account that I'm managing. One of them I'm heavily shorting because, he literally just don't care. So I was like, this is what I think. So he will be happy today. One of the account, I kept a really gamma neutral position. So let's see how that works. And one of the account is heavily invested in oil. So that one will be okay. My own account, it's sort of like going everywhere because I made a bounce play last night, but at the same time, I also shorted some of the stock that I think is just garble in this current economic environment. So let's see how that works, and I'll update you guys on what really happened today, because this is one of those black swan events. I even did research on war, like, how often does war happen? And then you remember when Russia going into Syria and then they back out within like a week. But during that week, VIX really spiked really hard. And US investors usually react super, super badly to, let's just say, war situations because of Vietnam and everything else in Iraq. So it's going to be turbulence week ahead. And then because oil price is going to increase, like I said in previous video, because Russia is one of the major oil producers. And when you have a main oil exporter going into war with someone else, first of all, we need to figure out where their pipeline are going and whether it's going to be sanction, because UN and the US going to sanction Russia anyways, right? And then you will have people at the CCP being cute about it, and because of Taiwan, right? So then some people would suspect that there's some Taiwan issues. Then it might actually be a very interesting idea in the middle of next week to start shorting some Taiwanese stocks if you think there are going to be some news coming out that is not in favor of CCP going against Taiwan in this situation. And if you go look at the entire global map, you'll realize that there's some interesting tension in Africa too. So I'm not saying that there's going to be World War III, because I don't think my boy Vladimir is going to really start it, but I'm just saying that inflation is going to go through the roof. So then that's going to force the Federal Reserve to sort of have an emergency meeting somewhere around March 1st or March 2nd. And we're probably expecting rate hike to be earlier than expected. And that will slaughter the entire NASDAQ market. So this is why I always preach that I should have some dry powders somewhere around. And if Russia doesn't pull out, then that means oil might actually go to 120 and NASDAQ will probably go down to 12,800. So we see that huge gap there that might even lead to a panic sell. So turbulent week ahead, okay? And again, this is a Thursday. It is not a Monday. So we might actually take a little break tomorrow. This is why you need a 120-minute chart on the NASDAQ, especially in the futures. You guys see that it's kind of bottomed out a little bit. But the problem with that is when pre-market ends, when the market starts, there might be some interesting panic selling stuff going on when the actual market start. and you will see major stocks, especially the stocks that are already plummeted by about 55% or more, taking a 10% dive. And you will see that maybe some of the anchoring stocks like Tesla or Apple start to going down, including Nvidia and all this kind of stuff. And let's just see how it goes. I think today is going to be a very sad day for most people. And institutions are not going to be inclined to buy in the middle of this. But for those of you who are investing long term, it might be a really good idea to, buy in at the bottom for just a little bit. But again, small positions, because my prediction is this year we're going to end up in a big red by the end of this year. Because the US federal government cannot control, there's some tax issues going on, there's some inflation issue going on, and then Congress, and then let's just say Congress is not competent enough to deal with this. And I think Federal Reserve's hands are tied. So we expect taper to, exacerbate, and we expect that interest rate is gonna, go high. And yeah, this is it for this video, and hope you guys, love this video, and see you guys on the upside.